Hello. Hello again. Thank you. Please let us meet Aneta Brejhova from Czech Republic. Sound Czech is your import service, or what is in question, please?
Well, we are a music export office, so we are supporting basically Czech musicians and artists to go abroad and have intercontinental connections and tours and such. So
we saw you on your Sonic Festival many years ago, maybe 10. So you are very busy and you work so hard for your artists.
Well, this year, I think this year is the most busiest year in 10 years, I guess, because we have the anniversary of really famous Czech artist like Bedřich Smetana. It's a classical music, so we have a 200 years anniversary, I think. So this year it's huge for us.
Congratulations. We will listen Smetana and other your composers with a pleasure. Another guest, another panelist is from Macedonia. Macedonia is proud to have password production. So our panelist is Ognjen Stojanovski. Stojanovski, thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Sorry. It is not the first time we are here together. And congratulations for everything that password production is doing for the Regia.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's not my first time here, and we and Kontakt and Odličan Hrčak are good brotherhood companies. So for those that don't know, Password Production is a company in Macedonia that does a little bit of everything. So we have a couple of big festivals. We have a music conference just like this one. We celebrated 10th edition last year. Then we manage some bands. We are trying to make something that would look like Sound Czech or music expert that would, for first something similar and then a real export office. So we do a bit of everything, as I said.
You will tell us all during the panel. A very important thing in Regia is when it was We Move Music in Croatia made to happen. So please welcome Ante Zvonimir Stamać. Thank you for your coming here, and congratulations also. You made the move.
Thank you for having me. Yes, I'm from We Move Music Croatia, Croatian Music Export Office, and we are also organizers of the Showcase Festival and Music Conference taking place in Šibenik in September. And I also have a lot of different roles because, like Login said a few years back on Ment Festival, you cannot have one role in the Western Balkans music scene. You have to have like many hats.
Yeah, many roles, exactly. One of the most important things in our life is British Council. For many years and many decades. Yeah, we were reading some newspapers, we were listening to the records, and now we are proud to have Milan Lučić on the top and here to talk about everything and to be part of Kontakt, very important thing for all of us. And for Europe, I have to tell, Kontakt Conference is one of the main conferences in Europe for just 8 years. Milan, thank you for being here.
Thank you. It's really a pleasure to be here and to be able to speak today on this, for me, very important panel, because at the moment my role is the head of arts for Western Balkans, so my daily life is regional collaboration, and I really am pleased to be here because in my former life I was running a concert venue.
Yes.
And so I can see the two sides of the rainbow. On one side, working for the international organizations such as British Council, and for that reason, I mean, I'll come back to this subject a bit later, but actually this is what we support, and that's why we are here, and I'm really pleased that for the first time after, this is on the 8th edition, that we are here today, and so thank you once again, and it's always a pleasure to sit next to you.
Thank you so much.
It's not the studio conditions, but still, it's the same feel.
Yes, you are very old and wonderful friends. So first of all, let's start. At this moment, on what level now is regional and international collaboration in music industry? When it is a Regia and this part of Europe east and south. So what is now the point? Do you understand? It is most important. We have to put the line and to start. We can start from you, so make this wonderful lady get better, feel better.
Okay, well, first of all, I think that, and I'm going to speak as a younger person, what was once considered one country now is considered a region. So first of all, when we talk about collaboration, we need to think about first going through the Balkans and then going elsewhere. And when I talk, I like to speak like the spirit of Balkans, and when we say the spirit of Balkans, we can include Slovakia, Czech Republic, and our, let's say, neighboring countries to the Balkans, because I think we share a lot of the similar spirits, and we can understand each other even though we have slightly different languages. So at the moment, I think the front runners of making the Balkan region cooperation are the alternative bands themselves. They're the ones that teach everybody else, especially the more formal organizations, what really is a cooperation. In terms of like from, I don't know, borrowing equipment to finding accommodation to finding tours. And then the next thing that helps us a lot, I think, are the European projects, which are decisive for some of the collaborations that are happening. So as we do the New Faces project, which I'm part of, we do with 4 countries from the Balkans. Now we have another project with Exit that's just starting, supported by the British Council. So that's really important for the cooperation that we do in the Balkans. And I think these two are the main like pillars of making this cooperation.
Thank you for that. Milan, what do you think?
For me, from the perspective of this conference, regional collaboration are markets. The main purpose of collaborating in the region, I'm not speaking from a donor perspective, is actually supporting the industry's market. And we can, I mean, in my perspective, there are a couple of things that it was very interesting what you said, and Ivan had a very nice a couple of words on the opening speech. Actually, what I expect from these meetings is actually to have some concrete actions and from the industry to act together. And that's ideal version of the regional collaboration. And that's why the donors such as the British Council, they are always open to support something which is not just a decoration of some collaboration, something which will be useful for the industry, for operators, for festivals, for concert halls, for studios, for the musicians, for labels, name it. But for me, in the essence of the regional collaboration, it can be really any region. I mean, of course, we understand that politically, the Western Balkans is considered to be one region, but I believe in today's world, looking from the British perspective, I think it's about networks. So that's, in my view, what's the essence of the regional collaboration, what's the motive for everybody to work in there.
Networks and conferences. I can...
Discussions more than conferences. We are like I think that we should all together sit here and talk to each other, because this feels as well a bit strange that we are going to give you a secret of regional collaboration. I think that this format should be used for discussions, that we are all equal, that we hear each other, that we can come to some joint conclusions.
Of course, I agree. Ante?
I feel that regional collaboration is at the highest level at the moment since I've been in the business. I've been in music industry since 17 years now. And because of, first and foremost, MENT Festival and PIN Conference probably, and subsequently Kontakt and SHIP Festival, I feel that collaboration is pretty good level. And especially you can see it through the New Faces program, which is a pretty good initiative, and I hope we don't stop there, that we're going to have more initiative like this. Because what I feel that both in Croatia and all the countries, and even in Central Eastern Central and Eastern European countries, it's the same problem always. It's the capacity building and the lack of music professionals, especially young music professionals.
I agree also. Dear Aneta, what do you think at this point of view? What is the situation when it's music, when it is music industry in question?
I agree with the colleagues. Nowadays, the collaboration is on the highest level. We, from our point of view, or Czech point of view, we opened like last year's several mentorship programs and several like pro visit. We call it pro visits program. It's based like to visit the country, meet the people there, the professionals, the venues, and the artists or musicians. And it was really useful for the kind of like a networking and like a knowledge exchange. So it was really, really useful.
Thank you. You told us many key questions and key points of the cooperations and collaborations now when you talk to us. But please, let's be specified. So go to the point and tell us the key points that would improve visibilities of artists. Is the next questions that I can think of when you talk about everything. Visibilities of artists, because it is everything about artists. Do you want first, Aneta?
Maybe I start.
Okay, thank you so
I
much.
think it's about the good strategy, and it's not just about the like a PR and marketing, but also like a caring of the fan base and merchandise, and just focus on the new platforms and such, like take advantage from the new technologies.
We have to use all new technologies.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. What do you think, Ant?
I feel that it's very individual from artist to artist, and yes, of course, showcase festivals and conferences can help a lot because it's very focused, where you have a lot of music professionals around. But I always thought that you should like promote yourself mostly through live, through touring and playing. But then there are some examples which really go completely in a different direction. The two most successful Croatian stories are Fran Vasilic and Free Kind. So, and they're completely different. Fran Vasilic actually made it through huge following on TikTok with 4.4 million followers, and he managed to get Wasserman booking agency on his international team, an important international record label. And Free Kind story is going through songwriting camps. So these are two completely different. They made it. They did an album for V, who is a member of BTS. The album hit second place on Billboard top 200 album list. So that's completely different from the way I saw it for 17 years. So I guess that all the ways are pretty different how an artist can make it.
Yeah, different point of view. When it's password in questions, you made a different ways all the time. You are very unique.
I would talk actually more about the international development of the Balkan artists at the moment, because I think sometimes we get into this like swirl of just talking Balkan for the Balkans, and then what we try to do, and especially one of our Hungarian partners, Kangveto, talks a lot about the Balkan brand and how others perceive us. So I think there is another great discussion at Kontakt in the next days. Gordon, I think, is moderating it.
Yes, very important.
I think there we'll see how the British music professionals perceive the Balkans, because sometimes only the Balkan people talk about the Balkans, and then we kind of get into like our own home and don't know what's outside of our home. So I think when we talk about what are the key points to actually going out of the Balkans, out of this language barrier and region, I think that we should listen more to our international partners than just like doing it all around on our own and trying the same strategies that are working on the Balkans, trying elsewhere.
Yeah, it's a very interesting point, and I'm always in a position to as well find a way to promote the Balkan musicians or artists elsewhere. I mean, elsewhere in the UK. And in my perspective, I mean, the regional collaboration as the subject is one of the ways actually to get the recognition. I mean, in order to be recognized, you have to make it somewhere else, not in your own town. I mean, from the Beatles had to go to Hamburg to become what they are. Manchester music scene or whatever, that's history. So that is very important. But I feel my feeling in the Western Balkans is actually that the Balkans fail to actually build their story. What's the story in there? And it's not just that you can invent a story for you. I think that the essence in that is actually what exactly Ivan said on the beginning, is people who are present in these discussions, in these agreements, that you really have everybody in the room. Doesn't matter, is it a question of Skopje or Belgrade or whatever. I mean, we all remember the successful story of Belgrade from the 80s, because there was a story there. And you had at least 5 or 6 different people who actually came together and built a story around it. How do you build a story? It's just by talking to each other. And you cannot do it on your own, or to spend your time with the people who think the same way that you do think. The most important thing is actually to put everybody in the room and decide as a platform to go outside. Once we manage to do that here in Belgrade, in the Western Balkans, in ex-Yugoslavia, in Eastern Europe, we'll be able to tell the story, and we will be able to hopefully intervene in highly competitive markets such as the UK one.
Thank you, that's it. You mentioned Ante Frikind and Fran Vasilic, and I can mention the Koi Koi, the band who was chosen by Eurosonic Festival and that international jury. They're singing in Serbian, and they made it. So now it is a question for all the bands from Macedonia to Slovenia. What are the target countries that we are talking about? We cannot imagine USA or now we have Britain here because the British Council will help us, but as he said, the Beatles came to Hamburg. So what are the target countries that we can lay upon and help our musicians in region? That's all. Please.
I guess it would be easier for all the Western Balkan countries to go to the countries where there's big immigrations, are immigrants, because it would be easier to pitch to a promoter, look, we can bring maybe some people from our country who are basically living in your country, and then you bring some people from your city and we can have a show. So that's...
It is an old story.
Yeah, but that actually works. I mean,
really?
It actually works. It helps to, create some kind of audience when you're doing a tour.
International audience?
Yes, and the international audience will, just because there's a talk and there's people coming somewhere. I guess Dubioza is a pretty good example where a lot of concerts were firstly just, I guess, mostly immigrants, and then just get bigger and bigger and bigger.
I saw Dubioza that made stage down on international events, so congratulations, Passport Production, about that. What's your opinion? Okay, it is a wonderful point of view.
Well, as I said, I think that
target.
It should probably just go, if we talk southern, like Macedonia, then we should probably go northern, and when we conquer the Balkans, we should probably then go to Slovakia, Czech Republic, and step by step going, because I think that especially nowadays in the 21st century, I would hope that the barriers are easily breakable. So when you're near the border, it's not that it's like border isn't set in stone where the music can go through the border. So I think that as far as you go north, then they will notice you in the next country, and then you can just go step by step towards I don't know, the promised country, in England, towards England.
Okay, or China
in
maybe.
England.
Do you want to tell, Anita, now?
Well, I think...
Can you go to Czech Republic with our bands?
I think that you have to do some kind of research of the market, where do you really want to go. But for example, last year we had like a few Czech musicians who had a really huge tour in India, and they succeed. So the Indian market is quite huge. Yeah, so there are a lot of opportunities, I think.
Thank you for that. Milan, what do you think? What is the target for us, and what can we dream of?
No, I think, I totally agree with you. I think there is a dream, but there's the reality as well, and things do not happen overnight. And in my point of view, it is very good that actually in some countries in the Western Balkans, actually people are thinking about export agencies, on analyzing the data, analyzing the comms, which is not only, this cannot be done by a band manager, or, it's more serious business than that. So I think that scenes should actually they should be supported by the institutions such as expert agencies, and that's something that we as well, as the British Council, are looking, because our goal is not to promote the British Council or British culture. Our goal here is actually to support artists, creatives, their organizations to grow, so they could reach wider markets, they can promote, they can tour, etc.
Thank you. Music conferences is made by 21st century. So we are so proud that we have here one in Serbia. We all met and made our friendship on Eurosonic Festival first. And it is the main conference, European conference, and after we met and we have set a program that united us as a Southeast of Europe, other countries are making exports. I don't know, I think first Portugal started with that, but it is a new thing. Music exports are the new thing. I'm coming back to the conference. What do you think, how can conference help music industry? And do you agree with their programs and with their meanings that everything is started from the conference nowadays? Please.
Well, I think it's really crucial to have the conference, because not just because of the networking, but also for collecting knowledges, exchanging knowledges, also for the artists, for musicians to have gigs and shows, and to find new professionals and professionalize the scene, the music scene.
Yes, you're right. Ognjen, Ante?
I think it's really important, and but the most important part is that you gotta have a strategy when you go to a conference. So you gotta know what you wanna achieve. You gotta see in the database who you wanna talk to, and then try to do it. We had a very successful first year of We Move Music Croatia, because we had a pretty good plan. What are we doing on the conferences? And maybe for the bands and both for the music professionals, you don't have to go to Eurosonic first. It's huge and it's overwhelming, and you've got like 15 minutes to talk to somebody, and you have 4 hours with 25 meetings. You don't know who you talk to or what you talked about after that. So our first conference was actually, as an expert office, was going to reconnect in Brno, which is a conference that is organized by Soundcheck, and it's a very small conference with maybe 50, 100 people there, and it lasts for 2 or 3 days, and you can really talk to people and connect. And then when you make disconnections, then it's easier to go on a bigger conference and create more connections. And it's the same for the band playing. A lot of bands try to go to Eurosonic first or to big showcases, which I think it's pretty wrong strategy. There's a band called A-Safe from Denmark who actually did a tour for the last, I think, 1 or 2 years on all the showcases in Europe, and they did the small showcases first. And then at the end, they went to Reeperbahn in Hamburg and Eurosonic. And when they came there, everybody already knew them because they went to 40 different showcases where a lot of professionals met them, and when they came to Eurosonic, everybody already talked about them.
Thank you for that.
So try thinking small and then building it up.
Thank you, Milan. I saw you agree with that.
Absolutely. I think that, I mean, this is, people need to talk, I mean, I said at the beginning, people need to talk to each other, and I think that in today's culture, the human contact is still the one who is more decisive. I mean, we have all the digital tools at the moment, but basically I think that it is very important that people gather and they talk to each other on a regular basis. And I think as well, you have made a very good point about the strategies, where you want to go, what you want to achieve, etc. This is one of the pathways through the conferences, and I totally agree with this approach.
Thank you. Ognjen?
Oh, first of all, I think that conferences are really important for contacts, and then I think it's a must for the local scene, so they get a point of like professional views, and they see how also their small-sized bands from other countries take this job as a profession, and how seriously they approach it, and then after that, all that the colleagues said, but also Aneta, like the knowledge sharing, and how especially the bands that come to the conferences, but also the local bands can grow together towards some bigger stages of their career.
You told already many things about international promotions. You told us about social media, networking, having export. I'm trying to make a clue, so please help me. There are 3 things: management, public. Please tell us what are the 5 things, for example, when and you can make international career out.
Well,
please.
Can I?
Yes.
Well, the idea is to create an international team that's going to work for the band. And our problem in the Balkans and in Central and Eastern Europe is the lack of music professionals who are working on exports. So you got to work with the people from abroad, from the West mostly. And the idea would be to get a manager, to get a booking agent, and to get a record label. And that would be the start. And after that, public relations, okay, that can come later. But this 2 would be the first 3 most important things to get.
Thank you, that's concrete.
British Council likes this.
Bravo, British Council like this.
No, really, I mean, that's the purpose, that's something that skills, that's something that we are looking at. And actually through conferences like this, when you are able to formulate the needs of the market, not of one particular group of people or one festival, or name it, I mean, whatever. When people come together and agree that you have 3 skills, donors like the British Council will certainly intervene and provide support to get something like that.
Ognjen?
Well, also a concrete idea, a bit of stubbornness, some craziness. I think that's also helpful in doing the impossible.
Aneta, with Soundcheck, you are the best thing we have here. So please tell us your opinion.
Yeah, well, I have to agree.
Your knowledge.
I have to agree with the guys. I think if you want to succeed international, you have to cooperate with international booking agencies, managements, PR agencies, and such. So this is the secret, I think.
Okay, now we are on conference, and please, let's talk about the future of international collaboration at the end. What do you think, Aneta? What is the future of collaboration? What will bring us for next year, for example, 1 year?
Wow.
Maybe the end of the summer. Don't worry.
Well, I don't know. I think discovering new platforms, like, yeah.
Okay, new platforms. On conferences, on festivals.
digital platforms, conferences.
Digital,
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Ante,
I have no idea what is the future, but I'd say what we need to work as a region is capacity building, creating music professionals. That is the biggest problem we have.
yes, you said
That
and
should
I
be our
believe you.
focus in the future and now.
We know that. Thank you for pointing this. Milan, what is the future?
In my view,
Moves.
are the networks, large networks of professionals being able to contact each other. We are seeing how the world develops, how the things goes. One crisis, other crisis. I think that the most valuable thing is actually being able to directly speak to a colleague who can advise you, who went through similar experience you had. And in my view, the future lays in such networks.
Thank you for that. Ognjen?
In 10 years, SHIP will be the biggest conference in the world because
In
it has
10
the
years.
biggest venues.
Okay,
Uh,
it's so long ago.
a Macedonian artist will sell out Wembley.
Okay.
And what else? No, I'm kidding. No, but I really hope that, yeah.
But you can do it. You have such a wonderful artist
The-
in Passport Productions.
Yeah, the
not
capacity
10
building
years.
one is of course something that it's a must. It's not even like a hope or a wish, but also I think that the Balkans are now ready with the export offices, with the conferences, and with the strong cooperation that we talked about to have work on a successful export story outside of the Balkan region, whether it would be Fran Vasilic or it would be Koi Koi, or I don't know where is Boris Repetitor would come back and become the
Yes, he
biggest
will come
sensation
back.
again. I think that now it's the time to go towards the next level. Okay, the Balkan scene I think is pretty strong right now. The younger bands, the bands that are already big and sell out the whole Balkans. But I think now it's the time to make a step further and make a strong export ready bands, not just one that it's like surprised. Okay, we are doing good in Germany, but build a couple of bands that would become recognizable as the Balkan brand, further away from what the world knows as the Balkan brand.
Balkan Music Army. Let's make it. Aneta, thank you so much for your experience here.
Thank you.
Please enjoy the Kontakt. Kontakt is a wonderful place that you will meet a lot of wonderful people. Even here in his room, I will tell you that everybody is great. Ante, congratulations for your move to do the export first step, at least. Milan, thank you for being all these years wonderful friend and collaborator. And Ognjen, you have wonderful production, and please don't lose your faith.
About regional collaboration, and I would like to ask an international promotion. How do you imagine that it's possible to do it when you don't have any regional, either promoter, either big ticketing company or whatever? There is nobody in this region. I used to work in the past years in Southeast Europe representing Slovakia, also Serbia, but other countries. And there was always this issue that you don't have a regional player on the market, not from the promoter side, not from the production side, not from the ticketing side, not from any side. And how is it possible then for you to do it, to execute it? Because I had issues, for example, I wanted to bring some Serbian bands into Slovakia while I was working there. You cannot find a local promoter who is willing to invest in it because he has no clue or no idea will it work. And it all comes down to the business, or actually the revenue. And as long as we don't have some regional office, let's call it, or British Council office on the regional level, or whatever player who will operate all this, how do you imagine it can work?
Yeah.
I can tell, I can be free to tell, yes, there is a big problem when we have band like Koi Koi or Repetitor, Ljubičica and somebody else, and we don't have legal rights to make a paper for them to play anywhere. We have to do this, and we are doing this. Conference Kontakt maybe is the first step, and I hope we will do it soon. You are so right, it is a problem. Thank you for pointing
Can
it.
I answer? Sorry.
Yes, please.
I mean, like I said numerous times, we have a capacity building problem, meaning we need music professionals, especially young one, who can do this, who can break the barriers. And they need to work with the professionals from abroad, job shadowing, mentorship, whatever to, create networks and to be able to do that. But then again, it's not really completely true that we don't have important players in the Balkans. We have Login and we have Password, who's doing with Manu Chao, working with Manu Chao. We have LAA agency in Zagreb, who is doing amazing shows and managed to put Zagreb really on a map for most of the big tours at the moment. And we also, on the alternative level, we have Miran from Moonly, who is doing a lot of great things for many alternative bands. So it's not that nothing is here, but we need a lot more.
You're absolutely right. We don't have here in Serbia. Thank you so much for helping us to promote our artists and to do together, to be together all these years.
I mean, we have a running joke in the export office that Miran Rusian from Moonly, who is a Slovenian, is the biggest Croatian exporter of music. and not just Croatian, Serbian also.
Serbian also. Miran is a good guy. Please, here we go. Oh, okay. Please.
Just having in mind new young music professionals, I'm Milica, and yesterday we released our first album. We're called Škofja Loka, and on Saturday at 5 p.m. at Dorčev Platz, so we're part of the showcase of the Kontakt conference, and I would be really thrilled if you could all join us at the free concert and to discover some new music, and so we can all share it. So thank you.
This is good PR.
Wonderful band. Please.
Yeah, probably with them.
Whatever it is.
My name is Maya. I'm songwriter and marketer also. Now I see changes in the consumption of music as a product. So the audience wants more and more new things, like you can have one song in a year previously, and now you need one song every 2 weeks. And I see that more and more automation is penetrating in some processes. For some types of music is not relevant, like for example jazz, acoustic and all that. But for electronic probably, and some avant-garde maybe music, automation and artificial intelligence is something that is working more and more. And when we're speaking about music professionals, on one hand there are professional musicians, and on the other hand there are some digital creators who actually knows how to operate these new technologies. And my question, what do you think about the role of the human artist in some types of electronic music or something like that? And isn't there some threat that music can become just a digital product produced without an artist? I'm saying awful things, yes, but seeing these patterns in consumption and seeing that for business the main goal is actually monetizing and actually to sell what can be sold. And when these algorithms can understand what people will buy, like people ask, will it go or no? And actually algorithm can calculate it. And it seems a little bit scary. So what do you think about it?
Your shows make some money for musician. You want to make much money.
Yeah. Well, my opinion is that if you listen to, because we're talking about electronic music, if you listen to Beatport top 100 list 5 years ago, so when artificial intelligence was not included, it sounded all the same anyway. So artificial intelligence is going to make it the same way as it was, and I believe that really great artists, like next Hendrix or Miles Davis or whatever, it's going to break through the noise, because this all is going to sound the same, and then you're going to have this one thing that's just going to break through because it's so different from everything else.
mean, for sure, nobody knows what will happen. You know, it's pretty new thing, and of course, it will try to disrupt everything, and someone will try to make easy money from that. But music industry, as we previously talked, is a business, but for me personally, I think that the human flaws can be made into an AI. So I think that that's the beauty of music, the flaws. So I don't worry about it.
I think that the bigger threat is to like stock music and creating music for commercials and like corporate music. I mean, these guys are just gonna be left out.
I have to tell you one thing. Sorry.
So you are talking about capacity building and young music professionals, and since Stanje and nove are here, and I'm very involved in this really good project in Faces, I would like to ask you to give us a short overview of what's being done and like to encourage young colleagues to get involved. There's a great debate.
Well, I think, I mean, the first year was pretty, you know, initiation of the entire thing, so I don't think we've done as much as we could. We've brought all these new actors on all the conferences that are in the region. We had some panels with them, we had some discussions, we had mentorship programs, small ones, but I think it's a good first step. And I guess that all of us need more funds to make something better out of this. And this is, I mean, from my perspective, the biggest problem of this project or any project that we're going to work in the future as regionally is, you know, the differences between how much money can we pull from our country and how much money can, I don't know, Macedonia pull from their country. That is actually the biggest problem.
Yeah, but I would add on that I'm part of the New Faces program. Yeah, my company is working for it, but I'm part as a participant in the program itself. And considering that in Macedonia we don't really have a university or academia or anything that's really working on the music professionals, or at least seriously working on that, I think that it can develop as some sort of a change for that academia theoretical knowledge of the whole music industry, because I think that the previous generation, at least the Macedonians, really got to experience, you know, these 4 conferences, but also take a look behind the scenes of what's the real music industry business, because you can't just get that at just going to some university or academia. You know, the conferences are a bit like backstage look into the music industry. So it's really important, and I think we all share the same problem in the Balkans, that we can get the young bands, the local bands, the local people interested in music. We have a hard time getting them to the conference, especially to the conference part. Okay, for the festival they're there, but getting them to the conference part is like the hard thing that we need to work on, and the projects like New Faces, I think, should help that.
Please, does anyone want to ask? Okay, please.
First of all, thank you. This is a beautiful subject, and I think it's beautiful that we have like people from Czech Republic and Croatia here talking about regional, but we're in Belgrade, and I'm asking, like, what's your experience with Serbian exports agency, like Serbia Creates? Are they doing anything? Are they collaborating? What's your experience with that?
I can do it. It is not export yet. So they are starting something. They don't know exactly, as they told us, what are they doing, but they have goodwill to make but it is not legal yet, so we don't know what will be in the future. Is it correct?
I have a good experience with the illegal music export from Serbia. No, in the past 2 or 3 years, we really work a lot with them, and they're a huge help. And I think it will become really a pillar for the Serbian music industry, because it's a really important step in easing the way to other countries from Serbia. We work with them on a couple of our festivals and only have good words for them.
We will make a Serbia export music. We are doing it, and someday it will happen. For sure. Then stay tuned, please. Is there any more questions, please? You have wonderful questions, I have to tell you. If you don't I have to tell you one thing. There are so many wonderful things you said and useful things. It is a book in a little place, but we have to make an order in order to put the things. The first thing, when you have your music product, you have songs, you are the artist, you have to put it to play on the radio. That's why I'm calling you to send me anything you have, because when Eurosonic wanted to make, for example, a connection with southeast of Europe, to make a CITE program that connect Western and East European music industry, they are connected to radio, because still is thinking that music on the radio is the best thing you can hear, and you can make some marks about music. Then they contact all state radio, as BBC, as Radio France, as us, Radio Belgrade, and festivals to make some collaboration. Results are conference like MENT, conference like Kontakt, and many others across the Europe. So now we are on the 3rd level, but please, I'm asking you to come back to the radio, to play your song, and to help you make to the abroad. Because institution is the most important things at the end of all social media. And I don't know if I'm clear on this, but we have to make a good plan on institutions so we can make a Serbia music expert. Start from the radio and we will do everything happen. That's it. Okay. Thank you so much for everything. Aneta, Ante, Milan, and Ognjen. My name is Katerina. Nice to meet you all.